at the state level, at the national level. But if you've been following anything in Fort Bend County, you know that we also have issues at the county level. We know that we had a turncoat for a county judge, and we know that we recently underwent a redistricting scam, an illegitimate mid-decade redistricting session in an attempt to gain power for a party who knows that they are not in favor in this county. And one of the individuals who has been fighting the good fight is the Precinct 4 Commissioner, Dexter McCoy. So let's give it up for P4 Commissioner Dexter McCoy.
All right, folks. So I know y'all have been out here all afternoon and it's getting a little hot, so I'm gonna just cut to the chase. Let's be clear. Donald Trump wants to be king of America. Republicans are enabling him, and the only thing stopping him, getting in the way of him creating a throne and crowning himself, is you and me, the American people. We are the difference between American democracy and American tyranny. And I don't know about you, but I didn't come up here on a hot Saturday afternoon to stand for tyrannical rule in our country. I'm here to stand alongside the people fighting for the people. You know, there's an old saying. It goes a little something like this. If you lie, you can cheat. If you can cheat, you can steal. And if we've observed anything over this last decade, it's a con man who has lied. It's a liar who has cheated. And it's a cheater who has stolen his way all the way to the presidency in the White House. Now, he has not done this by himself. He's been enabled by the very worst sections of our society. White nationalists, fascists, and modern day Nazis have paved the way for Donald Trump to trample over our Constitution and threaten our democracy. Now, this is not just me talking. All we have to do is just go back and turn open the pages of history. Like Goebbels in Germany, Trump and the right-wing media are lying and spreading propaganda. Like Putin in Russia, he's using the government to enrich himself and his cronies. Like Kim Jong-un in North Korea, he is wasting my tax dollars and yours on self-aggrandizing military parades that make us no more safe. Like King Louis XIV in England, he is wasting our money to build a golden ballroom like Versailles. Like Stalin, he is prosecuting his political opponents and those who would dare stand up to the incredible things that he is doing. And like Hitler, he is using ICE to snatch people out of their homes and out of their places of work, snatching people from their families and disappearing them forever. I don't know about you, but I don't want to live in an America that's like Nazi Germany. I don't know about you, but I don't want to live in a place like Russia. I don't want to live in a place that oppresses people, that tells us that because we have the audacity to say that what's happening today is not okay, that we deserve to be locked away and the key thrown away. That's not okay. Now, we all watch the news these days. It's what's brought us out here and galvanized us today. But do not be mistaken. What's happening in D.C. and Chicago, it's happening right here. Just this week, Republicans lied, they cheated, and they stole power away from you in an unprecedented mid-decade redistricting because people of color had the audacity to elect people of their own representation. because you had the audacity to say that the ways of old are not good enough and we want a different pathway forward. People didn't like that. And let me tell you, this fight over political representation in this courthouse, it's not new. It's reminiscent of a war that broke out right here on the very hallowed grounds where we stand today. Because let me tell you this, after slavery ended, blacks outnumbered whites 2-1 in this county. And because blacks were given the opportunity to vote, they elected representatives. And there were the highest number of black elected officials in this county at any given time in our history. And people were mad about that. They were so mad that they violently threw out every black elected official and their supporters. And right here on these steps, the sheriff of Fort Bend County was murdered in impunity. That's not opinion, that's fact. Now, why does this matter? Because the fight for representation is about how people in our community are able to live, how they're able to survive, how they're able to thrive. This fight is not just about power. It's about the power of those people who are struggling just to keep a roof over their heads. We're fighting for their power. It's about those single mothers who are just trying to scrape pennies together to get by, but cannot afford childcare for their children so that they may have a step in the right direction. It's about those folks who, even in one of the wealthiest counties in America, still today don't have access to the internet. And what does that mean for their future? The fight we're here on the steps of this courthouse today, the war we are waging is for them. It's for everybody in our community who dare aspire to be great. It's for everyone in our community who dare aspire to do something to make this world better for someone else other than themselves. Look, they're declaring war on our Constitution. They're declaring war on our democracy. They're declaring war on you. And folks, we came here today because we recognize that we are our last best hope. For those folks who are still awaiting help right here in Fort Bend County, we are their last greatest hope. For those folks who are still waiting for the dream still yet promised here in Texas, we are their last greatest hope. For those folks who across this country are seeking a better life, we are their last greatest hope. And because we are Americans, and we are proud Americans, for the world and everyone across this globe, we are their last greatest hope. So they say, as goes Texas, so goes the nation. And so what's the message that we're going to send here today? We're saying that here we will not succumb to the tyrannical fascist rule of KP George and his cronies. We are saying that we will not succumb to the fascism of Ken Paxton and Greg Abbott. We're saying that we will not accept a Mussolini in D.C. and Donald Trump no more. Because our future matters, our people matter, and we are the ones that we've been waiting for. Because Fort Bend County matters, we know that the world will matter. Let's keep fighting.
Good job. Very good job.